Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, this is kind of an impromptu sort of project. This paper bag has just crossed my desk, and instead of putting it away, I'm just going to make a journal out of it. It's going to be very much the same as the journal we made before out of a paper bag, but I am not going to do a fancy closure. I'm just going to tie something around it in the end of the day. So first job is to get the handles out and the paper that sort of holds the handles in there, and then we will think about what we're going to do with this paper bag. As you can see, I sort of stop and give this a little bit of thought, what I'm going to use to decorate this, how I'm going to make it. In the end of the day, I decide to stop thinking about it so much and just grab what I can see. So I find a bit of brown paper bag that has some, it's been used as a drop sheet, so it's got some paint on it. And I used up some ink on it at one stage and just did some intuitive writing. So I see that in my magazine rack. There's 3 pieces of that, so I just grab one and we get going. So I decided to do the same thing that I did with the previous bag, and that's to make the double pocket in the front by inserting something into the bag and sticking it together. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to just tear this piece of paper to size and then put plenty of glue in it and slide it inside the bag and basically stick it to itself on the inside of the bag to make a pocket using the 2 sides of the bag that fold in there. So you'll see what I'm doing, but we did do it before, and it makes quite a sturdy little divider inside the paper bag and gives us 2 pockets on the front flap. So that is the plan there, and then we will move on and decide whether we're going to decorate the rest of it or what we're going to do. The first time I did this was with the other paper bag journal that I did recently, and I used a piece of scrapbook paper which was almost like very thin card. That was much easier to do this with. This is just a piece of paper bag, so it's much more flexible. So yeah, maneuvering it inside the bag so it got far enough in so that I could, then stick it down without it sticking to itself and everything around it. Was a bit more challenging, but I did manage. It didn't take too long, so it is doable. But if you want to make it easy on yourself, just use a piece of very thin card rather than paper, because paper, once it's got glue in it, wants to stick to everything. I was just trying to decide whether or not I wanted to put a pocket in the top there. Ultimately, I decided no, I wouldn't bother. But yeah, I am going to make a pocket here just using the base of bag. Sort of a ready-made pocket there for me. So not a very deep one, but enough to pop something in. So I will make a pocket out of that by basically covering it with this, folding it over so that yeah, it's all nice and secure. And then I will secure the sides down with a little bit more of this brown paper bag, because I could just glue it along the edges, but they do tend to just sort of pop off after a while, and I just wanted it to be a bit more secure, so that's the way I'm going to go. Okay, I'd like to cover this panel, and well, mainly because I've now run out of that paper bag that I had, I decided to use a piece of coffee dyed scrapbook paper. This was an old scrapbook that, somebody's kids had been drawing eyes in, so I coffee dyed it anyway, and I will just use the side that doesn't have eyeballs drawn all over it, and just stick it down. It will do the job nicely, and provides a little bit of contrast to the sort of very busy sort of cover that I've now got going on. Just something a bit calming for the eye to rest on. So anyway, I will use up as much of this as I can as well. And I'm also going to use it inside the two pockets that I put on the front. I just felt it looked a bit unfinished in there when you sort of looked in, so I'm not going to fill the whole thing with it. I just want to put a strip at the sort of, the opening, so that it just looks a bit more finished up in there for me. So yeah, and that will basically use the whole sheet, which is good. That's something else off my desk. So yeah, I've just got all the scraps from that brown paper bag, and we'll find something to do with that before we finish. Okay, it's time to think about a signature for this little journal. I don't use these sheets. I end up going to my filing cabinet and just getting a bunch of coffee dyed papers, cutting them to size and tearing them to size, and there we have them. yeah, I didn't want to subject you to watching me tear all those pages and stack them. So it's all the same paper. Yeah, just decided to go with the one thing this time and just put a simple signature in there. I'm going to use black crochet thread to sew this signature in, and I'm going to double it up because my black crochet thread is kind of weak and wishy-washy, and I'm kind of overly keen to pull it tight, so sometimes I'm a bit heavy-handed and I have broken it if I've used just a single strand. So if I double it up, it works a bit better for me. So yeah, I will get that sewn in, and then we will think about what sort of ephemera we would like to just pop in these pockets quickly. Oh, and I'm going to also put an additional pocket on the inside of the front cover. So I want to use up all the scraps of that paper bag that I have left over. I may as well use up as much as I can. So I'm going to use an old glue page and a bit of that to create a pocket for the inside, and yeah, I'll also use some on the ephemera that we're just going to pop into the little journal. Okay, that's the little pocket created. Now I'm thinking about what I'm going to use for a closure. So I go and fossig around in my big trunk of ribbons and lace and whatnot, and I find some trim that I forgot I made, to be honest. It's just a scrappy strip of fabric sewn together. So I'm just going to use a piece of that because I think it suits this journal quite nicely. So I'm just going to simply tie it around the middle and put a simple just knot in it. Nothing, not a bow or anything, just a single knot, it's enough. And I think it really suits this journal. It might be a bit long, but I'm kind of okay with that too. So that's what I'm going to use. So, yeah, what a find, hey? I completely forgotten I'd made that. Anyway, Now I'm going to go and find some just plain coffee dyed cards, just simple cards from like that you would make flashcards out of or something, and we're just gonna pop a little bit of the scrap from that paper bag on each one and call them journal cards. So yeah, that's our next little job. This little squarish piece is about all I've got left out of those 3 pieces of paper bag, so I'm really pleased with that. Used up all of that. I'm just going to take this little piece and fold it in half and pop some pages in it and make just a tiny little notebook to pop in that pocket at the back because, well, I want to use up that scrap and we haven't got anything in that pocket yet, so... Anyway, that's the last little job and then we'll be finished. So yeah, I'm actually really pleased with the way this worked out, and the fact was that, you know, I was going to have to put it away and I just wanted to avoid that. So job well done. And I used up a few things along the way, so got to be happy with that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little project as much as I did, and yeah, I really appreciate you sticking around till now. I enjoy having you guys along and hearing what you think of what I'm doing. So thanks for spending your time with me today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.